to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. Um, I remember the first time, the only time actually, I've gone to Cuba. One of the most pointed highlights of the whole experience was going to the Yoruba Association of Cuba and meeting the director of the association and listening to him start to give these talking points, you know, about the nature of the Cuban system and the nature of the Nigerian system, and you know, implicitly, but not, too subtly implying that the Cuban system was more was better equipped, let's say, than the Nigerian system. Yeah, and pointing to a lack of integrity in the Nigerian system. And then, he started alluding to some of the popular folklore that we hear that, has been the cannon fodder for internet flame wars for probably 20 years now, right? And it was really powerful for me to hear him, who's working in an official capacity. He's a government worker basically. His job as a part of the government is to be the head of this association, right? So he's a bureaucrat more so than a babalawo. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic because now I'm getting the source for a lot of these talking points that fuel, the dissent among certain segments of the Orisha community who practice on the, between the Afro-Cuban side and the Nigerian side. And the experience, however, validated some things for me, and it is partially what is driving this lesson that I want to share with you today around the importance of order and organization and structure. Because the one who is most organized has the most responsibility. The one who's most organized assumes the most responsibility. And the one who's most organized is assuming responsibility not only for the time, but organization implies perpetuity. When you organize something, it's something that's going to endure longer than something that is unorganized. Okay. And so this is important for us who are practitioners of Orisha lifestyle because what we have been grappling with for as long as I can remember is the fact that African Americans in particular were primarily first exposed to the Afro-Cuban tradition. But the version of the Afro-Cuban tradition that we were exposed to was almost exclusively the face of that interaction was artists. Okay, it was artists, it was dancers, it was drummers, it was singers, and then those people would also be priests and priestesses. Okay, and so in that capacity, what ends up happening is that you run into a lot of creative people who are very passionate, very inspired, very talented, but they're not typically well organized. Okay, and so what happens is you get things that go up and come down. They go up and they come down. People are making their decisions based on inspiration. They're making their decisions based on short-term gains and not based upon long-term outcomes. Okay. And people are being impressed by what they can see. Okay. So the more beautiful something is, the more elegant something is, the more elaborate something is, the more showy something is, then the more people are convinced that, yeah, that's the real thing. Oh yeah, that's got real power. Okay. But real power is something that real power is derived from systems. So if you've been listening to me for a while, you understand, that's where I'm going. Power is systems. No system, no power. So just because somebody can be expressive doesn't mean that they've got power. What they're doing today will be gone tomorrow. The impressive display that they're making today, 20 years from now, will be nowhere to be found. There's no perpetuity to the flash. Perpetuity, the thing that's going to last and endure, is something that you probably don't even see. It's operating behind the scenes. It's within the system. It's in the structure. You take it totally for granted. And so within our community as African Americans, what we see is that there is a weakness in our ability to use Orisha to build our community. Orisha hasn't proven itself able to solve our problems. We haven't been able to take over areas of communities. We haven't been able to occupy even a building for 50 years. We haven't been able to influence a single industry for a decade. We haven't been able to create economic opportunities for our people for a decade, right? Why? Because we're not organized. And we're not organized because we're following behind artists and we're emulating artists. The goal of an artist is to be seen. The goal of an artist is not to organize or to teach or to develop. So we have an overwhelming number of performers who do not think and operate in terms of what is going to benefit our community in the next generation, in the generation after next. 5, 10 generations down the line, we don't have people who are organizing themselves today so that those things will become a reality. Success is only granted to those who are willing to pay its price. Success is only granted to those who are willing to pay its price. And so the price of long-term success is that you have a system, that you are organized, that you are structured, and that you are orderly. That's it. All right. Now, there is a very well-known mantra amongst people who may or may not be artists, which is build it and they will come. If you provide a platform for artists, then they have a place to come and perform. So you can see a venue that will provide a stage for artists to come and perform generation after generation after generation. But the artists themselves may rise and fall with, not much to show for it except for they were seen. Okay. And so I want to prioritize the system over the performance at this point. The performance is important, but when it comes to solving our problems in real time and really being mature and adult about what needs to happen, we need to prioritize order and structure. So what happens when you organize something, when you structure something, when you build something? They do come. Okay, the people come. Since the time that I have been working, I've organized and structured and created order. They've come. People have come, and I've been happy to receive people. At the same time, then we need to talk about what happens after they come. Well, after they come, if they are of a creative nature, even if they're not artists, right? The spiritual people are similar to artists in that we tend to be whimsical. We tend to be driven by inspiration, and so artists and spiritual people, are kind of two sides of the same coin. The magic of being an artist and being a priest is that you can take things that are evident to everyone, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feelings they're there everywhere, but the artist and the priest have this job of bringing those things into a form that people can appreciate and they can experience again and again. Right? It's a beautiful thing. I don't have anything against artists. I don't have anything against inspiration or creativity. But I'm just again prioritizing structure and order because that's what's going to really solve our problem. So you bring the creative people in, you bring the spiritually inclined people in, and what happens? Now they become defiant. Now they feel boxed in. Now they're not really um, comfortable because a system requires that you do things in a certain way. A system requires that you do certain things in a certain sequence for a certain period of time, with a certain kind of regularity at certain intervals. A system is going to demand that you do that. And the truth be told, if you really want to be a great artist, then that's how you manage your inspiration. The great artist, the professional artist, is the one who has a system by which she or he can do it on demand. They're not depending on inspiration. They've canned their inspiration, so to speak, with a system, with a methodology that says that even if I don't really feel like it, I can bring it. I can make myself perform at the highest level, or I can make myself perform at a level high enough to reach the inspiration and then feel it. But I don't have to wait for my inspiration to act. This is the importance of order and structure and systems. So the challenge of being the organizer, the challenge of being the leader is that you bring people in and then you got to manage their feelings. You got to manage their inspiration. And you've got to be able to receive people. And sometimes you can't, you have to have a filtration system that won't allow certain types of behavior within that system. It isn't necessarily that the types of people are not welcome. It's just that certain kinds of behaviors, will not they will not, the system will not accommodate them. They won't be able to function and perform and add value to the system. And likewise, they won't allow the system to add value to their lives. When you find that people are just more concerned with being defiant, or they're more concerned with being right, they're more concerned with being free and independent than they are with actually being able to consistently perform and produce, then you have to let those people go. You have to filter those people out until they are ready to understand, oh, this system is the only difference. The only thing that's going to make a difference between me being up and down, herky jerky, in today and out tomorrow, the only thing that's going to create consistency in my creativity is this system. Once you find someone who accepts that, embraces that, and they can do like Mike Tyson says, discipline is doing what you hate like you love it. That is what systems and order and structure create for people. It teaches you, it conditions you, it programs you to do what you hate like you love it, because that's what's going to guarantee success, not just today, but for perpetuity. So all of these are the dynamics that go into building it so that they will come. But once they come, then you've got to refine it, and you've got to continue to rework it, and have other systems in place that will relegate the flow of energy and the behavior of the people within your body or your organization, your school, your temple, your business, whatever it is that you're building. And so this is very important. This is essential. This is essential because it's a whole different conversation from what we've been having for the last 25, 30 years. Our conversation has been overwhelmingly concerned with performance and performance and performance and what the performance looks like, right? And there's no future in that. There's no continued guaranteed growth and progress and success in that kind of a model. And we need to shift our paradigm if we're really going to use Orisha to create solutions to our very real problems. Because our problems are not dictated by inspiration. Our problems are not going to be up today and down tomorrow. The problems that we face in our community are going to continue. The economic problems, the health problems, the interpersonal problems, the educational problems, problems that we have with the mass incarceration, you name it, all of the social ills that you can think of. Those problems are going to consist. They're going to be consistent. Why? Because we're operating within a system that is consistent. The broader economic and political system that we live in is consistent, and it consistently has the same kind of an impact on our people. It leaves us out in the exact same way, generation after generation after generation, which is why we keep grappling with the same problems over and over and over and over again, from Detroit to DC to South Central LA to Atlanta, Georgia to Oakland. You can find these same problems. We're responding to this system in almost identical ways across the country. But we haven't responded to that with a system, an alternate system that actually addresses our needs. But this is what the potential of Orisha lifestyle is. Orisha lifestyle has the potential to address all of the deficiencies, all of the things that are missing. Orisha lifestyle can supplement and provide the base fundamental starting point from the inside out, from building ourselves, our identity, and our habits from the inside out that would allow us to really take advantage of the mainstream system. But we have to approach it from a systematic way. We've got to be institution builders. We've got to build schools. We've got to build churches. We've got to build communication systems. We've got to build transportation systems. We've got to build education systems. We got to build these systems that are going to cultivate the kinds of solutions that we need over time. Okay, and so this is what we're doing in the Orisha Lifestyle Academy. This is our mission and our purpose to address within the African American community the problems that we have had from the inside out, to create indigenous solutions to the problems that we're facing here in the United States of America. Okay, so I'm sending this message out to the leaders. This is for the people who are determined, who know within yourselves that this is the time for us to create positive changes through positive influence. If you're one of those people, then I want you to find out how Obafemi Oribowa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the next level. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com. Let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now.